actually throughout the first half. And then we had halftime. So I thought in the second half we didn't come out with that same intensity, with that same hunger. Um, I thought their point guard took over in the third quarter. We missed shots, we missed layups. They go down and hit a three. So those little things were really hard for us to overcome. And we made some mistakes execution wise that we shouldn't make. But overall, I feel like the mistakes we made, can be corrected. I feel like this team has a big upside, so we'll get back in tomorrow. We'll go to work and prepare for a tough A&M.
Coach, I want to go back to honesty going to the bench with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. She obviously didn't come back until the second half. I know she had two personal fouls, but can you talk about a player like that going out of the game and then trying to get her back into the groove in the second half? It felt like she couldn't get going until late.
That was tough, but you take a gamble and she get a third foul, and we were playing so aggressively, and it was being called pretty tight on our end, so I didn't want to take a chance of her getting another foul. I knew I was gonna need her down the stretch. And I felt like we were playing. If we had gotten in a hole, I probably would have put her back in. But I felt like we were playing. We kept the lead, and so I didn't really need to put her back in. Probably got her out. She probably got out of rhythm by sitting so long. But it's that was what I felt like I needed to do.
I know you mentioned, you guys kind of came out flat in the second half. Was there anything specifically that Tennessee was doing that made it really difficult for you guys to adjust? What was the main factor in that, you think?
Well, I thought they started driving the ball, and their point guard she was making jumpers. She took over in the third quarter, and then we started having to help. Kind of coming off Rikia. I thought Rikia got better looks in the second half than she got in the first half. And she's a great player. And I thought those two kind of controlled the game in the second half.
Coach felt like Tamari Key's defensive presence made a huge difference that second half. Just, do you feel like she made more of an impact? How did that kind of change things for you guys?
Yeah, she did. I mean, I thought we adjusted our shots. I felt like we were prepared for that because she really didn't jump. She stood there, and we in practice we did prepare for that. And we scored those buckets, but I thought we kind of rushed it a little bit. I thought, down the stretch when she was affecting us, we were kind of rushing shots. But we missed wide open layups. We missed a couple that, we normally make. So we got to make those shots, and then we got to get back on defense. We had a couple of defensive breakdowns there. When we went in our zone defense, we had one person in man. So it just a couple of little things that, mistakes you can't make when you're trying to beat a team like this.
Jemiah, in the first half, your team used that same formula that's been so effective for you, forcing a lot of turnovers, not committing any, scoring any points off turnovers. What did you like about the way your team played in the first half versus what went wrong in the second half?
First half, I felt like we were attacking them, and then the second half, we came out flat, and they started to attack us and get downhill, which made a difference in the game.
Jemiah, just what do you want to take into the next game? Going into SEC play, continuing SEC play. Just what do you want to take away from this one? What are some of the things that y'all talked about post game, and some things you want to talk about with your teammates going into the next one?
Just try to look at the positives. Of course, you're gonna fix what you need to fix, but I felt like we got off to a great start, and we can use that for the next game. And just know we got to come out better in the second half.
Coach Pearl actually mentioned your guys' game today in his press conference, just as you guys both open SEC play. He said, he feels like you guys really have an SEC talent, like caliber roster this season. Maybe you've been short-handed in kind of the years past. What do you see in this roster, albeit like it's obviously a very small taste of SEC play, but just kind of going ahead, competing with Tennessee, a team I think was projected to finish in maybe the top 3 of the conference. Just what do you like about the roster you have now?
It is a talented roster. I think it's a very inexperienced roster. We have 9 players that haven't played in the SEC, so it's a very inexperienced roster. Mingo didn't play, last year, so we have, we do have some talent, but when it's different when you get into SEC play. I do think we have a group that that are hungry. I think they feel bad about this loss. They know we missed an opportunity, so they will go back. We'll go back and they'll prepare. They'll prepare better. They'll be prepared a little bit better mentally now that they know what to look for, and I feel like we'll have we'll get better from this.
Kind of interesting that you actually helped recruit Rakia to Mississippi State and coached her for a season. Career high 19 rebounds tonight. Just felt like she's become a different kind of player on the boards. Just what stands out to you about her growth in that area and what she did tonight?
Just not just her growth in that area. I just think she's a more mature player. Like you said, when we had her, she was a freshman. She started out playing on the wing, and I was a post coach. She ended up probably, I believe, the 3rd game in the season becoming a post, coming down on my end, and so I was her position coach for most of that freshman season, and you can see her growing then, but she was still young. But now, I mean, she's a fifth year in the SEC, so she has a lot of experience, and she obviously have the talent. So nothing that she does surprises me. I mean, she's an incredible player.
Coach, you guys still forced 23 turnovers tonight while only turning the ball over 6 times. Talk about your defense and what you take from tonight headed in to your next game.
We did. I thought our defense was tenacious in the first half and part of and in the fourth quarter at times. I thought we had key players that just kind of got tired early in the third quarter. We'll have to address that, but we got tired early in the third quarter. Normally we're a third quarter team, but I think we played so hard in the first quarter and in the first and second quarter, and I didn't. We got in foul trouble, so a lot of players had to play. A lot of those players had to play a lot of minutes in that second quarter because I think we had 5 players with 2 fouls in the first half. So, we had to play. We had players that had to play a lot of minutes, and then in the third quarter, I felt like they were tired. Now, I'm not making an excuse, but they were really tired. So we'll definitely have to address that. But the way we play, we need everybody. So we can't have players getting in foul trouble like that, especially our guards. It was our guards getting in foul trouble, so we had players having to play a lot of minutes in a row without me being able to sub them. And they played really hard in that first half. And then, you have halftime, and I just think it just kind of wore on them. But now they'll be used to it. So, that's the thing that we'll prepare them better for.
Everybody. Thank you.
Where you go?